Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Laura and you are on my YouTube channel, Parker Kate, where I feature beauty, lifestyle, and fashion videos. In today's video, I'm actually going to go over my top picks for the Sephora VIB sale. Now, I will leave all the information down below in the description box if you missed anything, as well as link each individual product and then some of my favorites that maybe I didn't mention by name. So if you're interested in seeing what my top recommendations are, then please keep on watching. I'm going to divide this video into different categories, and each category will have a timestamp that I will link down in the comments and in the description box below, just so you won't have to watch the entire video if it's really not something that you want to sit through. So my very first category is actually going to be skincare. Now, if you don't know, I am a certified makeup artist and a beauty vlogger. So I get sent a lot of different products and I do a lot of different testing on my skin. And the very first skincare product is actually going to be something that everyone needs. That is a basic moisturizer. Now, the moisturizer that I'm talking about that I've probably used for about 15 years now and I constantly go back to it is this one. Now, this one is by Clinique and this is called the Dramatically Different Moisturizer. The reason why I love this moisturizer, especially this formulation, is because it's perfect for dry skin. Now, if you're someone who doesn't have dry skin and you have combination to oily skin, they also have different variations of this moisturizer to suit your specific needs, which is another reason why I love Clinique. After I use my moisturizer, I go in with a good under eye cream, and this is also from Clinique. This is their All About Eyes eye cream. I like this one because not only is this, again, it's available in different formulations, and I actually use both of the formulations for the All About Eyes. This is the rich formulation, which I use more in the drier months, and then I switch to their hydrogel formulation, which is really light and airy and perfect for like the hot weather, spring, summertime. Not only is this fragrance free, tested for your eyes specifically, it also reduces puffiness and any dark lines or bags that you have underneath your eyes. Speaking about eyes, if you are someone who struggles with really bad under eye circles, a lot of puffiness in the morning, deep contours, and just overall dryness and crepiness, the next product that I'm actually going to recommend is by a brand called The Ordinary. This is the caffeine solution by The Ordinary. Now, because this is more of a liquid or a serum, you can actually pair this with an under eye cream, but what you're going to do is you're going to apply this first to the area. You're going to wait about 5 to 10 minutes to let it fully be absorbed, and then you can go ahead and apply your under eye cream after. Now, because this has caffeine in it, it's going to act like a stimulant, so it's going to be like a cup of coffee for your under eyes, and we all know as we age, we need one of those. Then, speaking about anti-aging, the next product that I'm going to recommend, again from The Ordinary, is a good fix for that as well. Now, this is called the Buffet, and the Buffet is a multi-peptide serum. So a serum, if you didn't know, is something that's going to penetrate deeper into the skin than a moisturizer would. So the reason why I love the Buffet by The Ordinary is because it helps with hydrating the skin, it helps reduce the appearance of wrinkles, as well as giving your skin back that youthful plumping glow that it once had, so it's not so dry and listless. But if you're somebody who wants to get into anti-aging, another good product from The Ordinary is this one. This one is a retinoid, and a retinoid helps fight the appearance of wrinkles. And if you're somebody who kind of reacts because you have very sensitive skin, then you're going to want to pick up Granite Active Retinoid 5% in squalane. If you don't know what squalane is, it is an oil. And because you have a retinoid mixed in with an oil, it's going to be less irritating to the skin, but it's still going to deliver the results. If you notice, the last two bottles by The Ordinary kind of have this dark bottle, where some of them have a light bottle. The reason why it has a dark bottle is because it's protecting the product from sun exposure. So if it has a dark bottle, you're going to want to store this in a cool, dry place out of direct sunlight. My next recommendation is for somebody who is dealing with acne, large pores, kind of fine lines, and a little bit of dullness or redness in the skin, and that's going to be again by The Ordinary, and this is the Niacinamide 10% and Zinc 1%. The reason why I love the Niacinamide and Zinc, because I've noticed a huge reduction in the amount of breakouts I've been getting, clogged pores, and a more overall even tone to my complexion. Now, niacinamide is also said to reduce the appearance of pores, but I am somebody who does not believe that your pore size can change. They don't shrink and they don't open. I think if you have large pores, that's something that you're going to have to go see a dermatologist about. And I really don't think that any product that claims to reduce the appearance of pores has lived up to that, especially in my own research and trial and error over the years. Alright guys, so that's all I have for skincare. Now we're going to be moving on to foundation. So my top number one pick for foundation, and it doesn't matter, again, this is going to be a foundation that is going to be pretty good for anybody who has dry skin, oily skin, mature skin, acne prone skin. It's actually by Charlotte Tilbury. Now this is the Airbrush Flawless Foundation. So the Airbrush Flawless Foundation is a full coverage, natural skin looking foundation. So it doesn't have a matte finish and it doesn't have a dewy finish. It has something called a satin finish, which is probably going to look the most natural on the skin. Now this is a full coverage foundation, and it's also great for someone who has mature skin because it has anti-aging properties in it. And I like this because it comes in a wide range of colors. Then my second pick for foundation is also full coverage, but it has a very similar finish, a satin finish. And that is the Born This Way foundation by Too Faced. I like the shade range of this foundation. I like that it is full coverage. And this is one that I constantly reach for. Now if you're someone that likes a really nice hydrated glow, you're going to want to go ahead and reach for this one. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Luminous foundation. So this is probably not going to be great for somebody who has combination to oily skin, because this does leave a very hydrated, more dewy finish than a matte or satin finish. Again, this is full coverage, and I absolutely love the shade range available in this. And my next pick is actually by Fenty Beauty, and this is their Pro Filter Soft Matte Long Wearing Foundation. Now I do recommend, if you're going to get a Fenty foundation, especially the matte version, this also comes in a hydrating formulation, you're going to want to get the primer that comes with it and use that. This I found was a little bit too matte and a little bit too drying for me, but it worked out really well when I paired this with the hydrating Fenty primer. Now if you're somebody who has very sensitive skin, but you are someone who suffers from acne, but you still like that full coverage, and you don't want to spend a lot of time on your makeup, my next pick is from Clinique. And this is their Beyond Perfecting Foundation. Now the reason why I love this foundation is because not only is it full coverage, but it also can be used as a 2-in-1, which means that you can use it as a foundation and then you can also use it as a concealer. But if you're somebody who has oily skin and you still want full coverage without all the slippery mess, but something that's still going to be appropriate for sensitive skin, my next pick is this one by Clinique. This is their Stay All Day Matte Oil-Free Foundation. I love this. I live in this in the summer, because in the summer I tend to get a little bit more oily through my T-zone, and I'm pretty dry around my eyelids and my nose. And this foundation is kind of like the perfect balance for combination to dry or oily skin. Again, if you have oily skin, go ahead and give this a try this summer. You will be amazed by it. Now my last two picks for foundation are actually going to include skincare and be on the lighter side, so not so full coverage. So if you're someone who likes the CC cream or the BB creams, I really recommend the IT Cosmetics CC cream. If you don't know what a CC cream, it means color correcting, which is basically skincare meets makeup. Now this one specifically by IT Cosmetics has 7 different products in one. So this is going to be your moisturizer, your primer, your serum, your foundation, as well as your color corrector and your sunscreen. Now this one has an SPF of 50+. You can get this in different variations depending on your skin. They have one that's going to be more radiant if you find that this is a little bit too heavy for you, and they also have a version that is full coverage and oil free, especially if you are somebody who suffers from oily, acne prone skin. Now my very last recommendation, the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer. Now this is not the reformulated version, but they've reformulated this tinted moisturizer. So if you don't know what a tinted moisturizer is, it's a foundation and a moisturizer mixed together. Now, I like this one because this is a very hydrating, luminous, but sheer foundation. So it gives a very hydrated, glowy, but natural look to the skin. Now we're going to be moving on to eyebrows. And eyebrows, it's a really quick one. I only have 2 recommendations for eyebrows. So the first one is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dipbrow Pomade. Now I love this one and I use this every day because I find that this is very quick and easy, and you can get a whole bunch of different results just from this. I also love that it is long lasting, sweat proof, and waterproof. And then my second pick is, if you're somebody who doesn't like pomades, and want something that's a little bit more easier to use, it's actually by IT Cosmetics, and this is called the Brow Power Brow Pencil. One side is a brow spoolie, and then the other side is a pencil. Now I have the thicker version of this, but it also comes in a very fine tip version as well. Now let's talk about powders and powder foundations, and I only have 3 picks for this. My very first pick is something that I use every single day. I've been using this since I was 13 years old, and I'm pretty sure you've heard of it. This is the MAC Studio Fix. Now this is a powder to cream formulation, which that means is it goes on like a powder, but the more you buff it and blend it into the skin, the more it's going to look more like skin. Then up next for powder foundations is by IT Cosmetics, and this is the Celebration Foundation. Now again, the Celebration Foundation by IT Cosmetics is where skincare meets technology meets makeup. So what does that mean? This is going to be a full coverage powder to cream formulation. So again, it's going to start off as a powder and blend beautifully on the skin. It's not going to emphasize any fine lines, and it doesn't have talc. And talc is something that's going to make your powder foundation look cakey the more you apply it. This one can get a little bit cakey if you're too heavy-handed, but it's a very rare occurrence. Now if you're somebody who doesn't like a lot of powder and you still want to set your makeup without any color, my next pick again is by IT Cosmetics, and this is the Bye Bye Pores Press Powder. This also comes in a powder version. Now this one is translucent, so it means it has no color. And then I have one of my favorite powders, probably more of the high-end luxury powders, and that is the Charlotte Tilbury is the Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. I use this specifically to set my under eye area in the center of my face, especially if I want that flawless kind of filter look. Now let's get into my picks for setting powder. If you don't know what a setting powder is, it's something that you set your makeup with. So you can set your under eye concealer with, you can bake with it, you can get rid of shine, and basically do the same thing that we did with the pressed powders, only it is not in a pressed form. So the first one I'm going to recommend, I'm pretty sure you know what it's going to be. It's going to be the Laura Mercier Loose Translucent Setting Powder. Now this is a very beautiful micro milled powder, which basically means it's not going to be traceable on the skin. If you add just the right amount, it's going to emphasize your skin and while taking away any shine. Now, if Laura Mercier is a little bit too pricey for you, a really good alternative is this one from Cover FX. This is the perfect setting powder in translucent by Cover FX. It's not as finely milled as the Laura Mercier one, but it works just as well. And then I have one more kind of setting powder, but it's actually a setting powder meets a highlighter. So that is going to be the Laura Mercier Loose Setting Powder in Glow. This is not going to be your typical under eye setting powder. This is going to be a powdered highlighter, but it's going to be one that looks very natural. So this is not something you're going to be setting your whole face with or baking with. The glow version of this is something that I love to use on my brides. So it's going to just go on like a highlighter, but a very subtle highlighter. It's not the highlighter I'm wearing today, but if you're somebody who wants that glow from within look, especially for brides, you can apply this to the high points of the face, and it is going to look beautiful and natural and last all day long. Now speaking of highlighters is actually the next category that we're going to be talking about. So my top pick for highlighters, the number one pick that I always go to, especially for my bridal clients, is going to be from the brand Hourglass. Now, Hourglass has these beautiful ambient lighting trios, or they have them in singles. And these are the most beautiful lit from within, natural looking highlighters available. Like, I am so impressed. These are again a cream to powder formulation, which means it lies beautifully on the skin. You can't tell that it was originally a powder, and it comes in different undertones for different skin types, and I absolutely love this. Now the next one can actually be a highlighter or it can be a blush. It depends how you use it, and it is from Fenty Beauty. Now this is the Fenty Beauty. This is their Kilowatt highlighter. So I have the color Girl Next Door and Chic Freak. So you can use these as blush highlighters, which kind of means it's a hybrid. You can use one side, the more frosted side, as your blush, and then the lighter side as a highlight. And this comes in a variety of different shades. I absolutely love using these, especially these soft pink ones in like the spring and summertime. Now again, the formulation is amazing. Fenty Beauty has it down when it comes to shade range and formulation. Now, if you're somebody who wants a really high intense highlight, go ahead and pick up this. This is the Cover FX Custom Enhancing Droplets. You can mix this in with your foundation for an all-over glow, or you can use it right out of the dropper onto your skin and blend it out. Now, these are, again, customizable to how bright you want your highlighter, so you can apply a little bit or a lot, but a little bit goes a long way. Now, if you're someone who likes cream highlighters, my next pick is actually pretty brand new, and it is from Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light Wand in Pillow Top. Now, they also have different versions of this, so they have one for lighter skin tone, medium, and darker. This one is a liquid highlighter with a sponge tip applicator, and it has a soft focus effect. What does a soft focus effect mean? It means it's going to be almost like you photoshopped highlighter onto your face, but it's going to look like your natural glow. And then I have to mention probably one of my favorite highlighters. Again, it's by Charlotte Tilbury, and it's in this little cute duo. This is the Film Star Bronze and Glow Face Sculpt and Highlighter set. So one side is the highlighter, and then one side is the bronzer. The highlighter is actually what I'm wearing today. So it's very subtle, it catches the light, it can be applied wet or dry, but it lays beautifully on the skin, and it looks like I've used a cream product today instead of a powder, but I've used a powder. Now that we're done with highlighters, let's get into bronzers and contours. So let me quickly explain the difference between a bronzer and a contour powder. So a bronzer is going to give you the look of a tan, whereas a contour is going to give you the look of shadowing. And shadowing is what you do when you want to add structure or you're manipulating the shadows in the face or the body. So we're going to start with bronzers, and my first bronzer, and not a contour, is also by Hourglass. This is their Ambient Light Luminous Light Bronzer. I love this bronzer. Even though it says it is for light skin tones, it's actually a little bit too dark and too orange for me in the springtime. When I do have a tan, I love it. Now, this is a baked bronzer. Now, the next bronzer, it's not really a bronzer, it's kind of a bronzer meets a contour. It's actually in a palette. So this palette contains a perfect bronzer shade, a perfect highlighter shade, and a perfect blush shade. And it is again by IT Cosmetics. Now, this is their disc version. They have different versions. They also have one that includes a pressed powder, and it is in a square. So this is the bronzer in the Love, Life, Laugh Vitality Face Disc. Now, this one I would use more as a bronzer to add color to my face than I would use for sculpting. And I use this on my brides just to add that beautiful hint of color. Another one that is very similar that you can use for either bronzer or contouring is again from Charlotte Tilbury, and that is the Film Star Bronze and Glow Duo, and that is going to be obviously the bronzer. Now, the only thing that I'm not too keen on is the shade range available in this palette in particular. It only comes in this light one and then a medium one, and I really think they need to focus in adding one more so it can benefit deeper skin tones. Now let's get into contouring. I only have two products for contouring. So the first one that I have for contouring is and this is their Hoola Benefit Contour Matte Bronzer. It is marketed as a bronzer, but I use this for contouring, especially from somebody who's probably a light to maybe a mid-medium or a light-medium skin tone, and they also have a darker version of. Now, I love this bronzer. I love that the undertone is more gray, so I can use this more as a contour than adding color in my face as an actual bronzer. Now, if you're somebody who kind of likes to have a wide variety of contours and bronzers available to you in one palette, the next palette I'm going to recommend is going to be for you. This one is pretty much a staple in a lot of makeup artist kit. I know this is mine from my kit, which is why it's pretty beat up. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Kit. In here you have a really nice bronzing shade, and then you have two kind of contour shades, and you can mix and match them. As well as you have three kind of not so much highlighting powders, but setting powders. So if you want to really emphasize the under eye area, you can use one of these three powders to kind of make it look a lot more brighter or color correct. It just depends on what you're using it for. The next category is concealer. Now, I only have two concealers, and no, one of them is not Shape Tape by Tarte. The concealer that I recommend pretty much for every single one of my clients, doesn't matter their age, doesn't matter their skin type, is going to be this one by IT Cosmetics. This is the Bye Bye Under Eye Full Coverage Anti-Aging Waterproof Concealer. Now, I use this every single day on myself as well as my clients, and I absolutely love this. You only need the smallest amount of this to give you that beautiful full coverage natural look. Now, this comes in a wide variety of shades, which makes it really nice to use as a concealer and also as an under eye highlighter. This does not crease, this does not sink into any fine lines, and this does not cake up throughout the day. Seriously, just try it out. So my next concealer is actually, it looks like this is not it. I lost it in my array of products on my desk, but it is actually the Born This Way concealer. This can be used as a highlighter or concealer. It has a huge range of color. You can use it for highlighting, contouring, or regular under eye concealing. It is a full coverage concealer. Only issue I have with this is if you don't set up properly or if you put too much on, you can get a little bit of creasing throughout the day. Okay guys, we are almost done. I'm trying to get this done. If you're still with me, kudos to you. You guys are a true subscriber. So now let's get into probably my favorite makeup product recommendation category, and that's going to be eyeshadows. So as you guys know, I am a huge Charlotte Tilbury fan. I love her products. I love using them on my clients, and I absolutely love the quality. But to me, her products are outstanding. So with that being said, I only have 2 eyeshadows that I'm actually going to recommend from Charlotte Tilbury, and the first is going to be her luxury eye palette in Copper Charge. Now this is a recent new release, and it is this beautiful gold peachy tone shadow, and it's actually what I'm wearing on my eyes today. Now she recently released this palette in something called her Magic Eye Color Kit series. She came out with 4 different quads, and each quad was supposed to naturally emphasize your eye color. So even though the Copper Charge palette is geared towards somebody who has blue eyes, to me this is the most universal quad that she came out with in that launch. Now the tones in here would suit anybody of any eye color and anyone of any skin color, and I'm just so obsessed with this. I'm pretty much wearing this quad nonstop every day. Like, I think I might have to order a second one. Now you do want to jump on these fast because they are limited edition. And then my next pick is going to be a Pillow Talk product. I know you can't have Charlotte Tilbury without having Pillow Talk, and it's this one right here. Now this is her Instant Eye Palette in Pillow Talk, and I love this palette. I didn't think I would love it as much or use it as much as I have been using. You have these beautiful 3 matte browns, 3 pinks, you have these peachy tone colors here, and then these beautiful wearable eyes. Now this palette is broken down into 4 different eye looks using 3 colors. So number 1 is to prime the eyelid, 2 is enhance the eyelid, and then 3 is to smoke it out or use as a crease color. Now you have a variety of mattes and shimmers, and if you're someone who likes pinks, peaches, browns, and undertones, and you want a really versatile, pretty kind of spring palette, then go ahead and pick this one up. Now my next pick is by Natasha Denona, but this is one of her more affordable range palettes, and it is the Love palette. Now this palette has a beautiful range of cool tone, warm tones, purples, pinks, mattes, and shimmers. Now if you're somebody who loves color but you're a little bit afraid of color, this palette is actually the perfect introduction for you. And why I say that is because even though some of these colors look very pigmented in the pan, they actually come up very soft like a Charlotte Tilbury does, so they have a soft focus effect. They're very easy to blend out, and I absolutely love the quality. Now speaking of colors, my next palette is one that I absolutely love. I love the formulation, I love the price point, and I love the brand, and that is the Mercury Retrograde palette by Huda Beauty. Like, not only is the packaging stunning, but the range of shades and colors and textures that you get in this palette are absolutely divine. Like, it just makes me want to play with it. Like, I love this palette. But if you're somebody who doesn't like a lot of color and you want to still play with beautiful tones, the next 2 recommendations are not new palettes, but they are older palettes, but I love these, especially for my bridal clients. These are by Tarte. So the first one is perfect for spring, and that one is the Tarlatan Bloom palette. Now you get a beautiful range of mid-tone, cool tone in this palette. You get a couple shimmers and some really nice mattes, But overall, this is a beautiful everyday kind of palette that you can really play with. You can go soft or dramatic depending on the look that you want to achieve with it. But if you're somebody who loves cool tone palettes and you don't like shimmers, then the Tarlatan, the original palette, is going to be for you. This is a cool tone all matte palette, and matte meaning there are no shimmers, metallics, or glitters. These are high pigmented, beautiful, creamy eyeshadows that are pretty much perfect for everyday wear. And then my last palette is for anyone who loves their wearable, easy to blend out eyeshadow palette with a really pretty color story, and that is this one by Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is the Soft Glam palette. Now I love the range of colors in this. You've got some warm tones, some cool tones, you have shimmers, and you have matte. The reason why I love Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadows, they are very easy to work with and very easy to blend out. So if you add too much, just go ahead and wisp it away with your brush and you are good to go. Again, this is the Soft Glam palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills. And then I only have one recommendation for mascara because my favorite mascaras are not currently sold by Sephora. They're actually sold by a brand called Tarlatan. I do have a discount code, so I will leave that below if you're interested in looking at those mascaras. But the number one mascara that I love is going to be from IT Cosmetics, and this is their Superhero Mascara. I absolutely love this. Not only does it lengthen, give your lashes volume and curl, it also gives the illusion of a beautiful, thicker, fuller eyelash line by tightlining. So up next, we're going to talk about liquid lipsticks, lip stains, and lip balm. So my only recommendation for lip balms is, again, this one is by Cosmetics. This is their Je ne sais quoi lip balm in rose. This one you can get in clear or in pink. And this is a hydrating lip balm with a hint of color. And what this actually does is it turns your lips your own unique shade of pink depending on the pH levels in your actual lip. Now, nobody does liquid lipsticks better than the next brand, and that's why I only included one brand for liquid lipsticks. And that, of course, is Smashbox Cosmetics. These are probably my favorite liquid lipsticks that I reach for all the time. The two shades I have right here are called Fair Game and Always On. And they have a variety of other beautiful colors that are absolutely amazing. They last all day long, and they're not super drying, but like any liquid lipstick, near the end of the day, they will get a little bit drying. So the number one brand that I get my lipsticks from is actually from MAC Cosmetics. So whether or not you want matte lips, a sheen lip, a powder lip, go ahead and check these guys out. They're high quality, they're worth the price, and I absolutely love the variety of finishes and shades that they offer. Then my second favorite lipstick are actually by Urban Decay. I have a bunch of these shades in different colors and different finishes. I love on the bottom how you can clearly see the color of the lipstick and the shade that it is called. I love how they wear and the formulation of them. They last all day long, and they have a beautiful shade range. And then last but not least, let's talk about lip glosses. I have two brands that I absolutely love lip glosses from. The first is going to be Urban Decay. I love that they have a wide range of these beautiful lip glosses with the doe foot applicator. Some of them have spearmint and peppermint in them. And then another brand that I absolutely love for lip glosses, not only lip glosses, but probably liquid lips and lipstick, is going to be Buxom. Buxom has really beautifully formulated glosses and liquid lipsticks. Alright guys, that is it. You made it to the end of the video. If you did, congratulations. That was a long one, I know. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed today's video where I give you my top brand recommendations for the Sephora VIB sale. Again, I will leave all the information about the products I mentioned today, the favorite shades of mine, as well as when the sale starts. Anyways guys, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and if you have any recommendations for me to try or for anybody else, go ahead and comment them down below, and I'll see you in the next one guys. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!